And so like I self-isolated away from him. We didn't share spaces, like we didn't overlap anything. And I got to day 6, which for me is incredible because I can't usually make it that far. Like he was getting better, and nope, I still caught it on day 6. And then by day 7, so my day 2 of having whatever flu I caught off him, I was so sick I had to go for tests to find out what the fuck I was sick with. I just have some water. Hold on, my throat's just being a thing. I didn't exactly have a good sleep today, so I assumed that when I fell asleep, I probably snored my ass off. So my throat's pretty sore at the moment. I did like saltwater gargle when I got up, but it's like, I know it's because I ate a heap of spicy food and then like failed to sleep and then slept and then probably snored. I know why my throat's sore, so it's fine. My partner, who was right beside me while convention, didn't get sick at all. Yeah, it's basically how it works. So Rose, you've been having a heart attack for a while. Instead of refueling that, how about you go lay down? Now, I do not have a heart for her, but I have fought beyond belief to keep this bitch in my colony. Every time she has a tantrum, her choice of tantrum is to run wild with the animals. And if you guys remember, it's okay if you don't, if you never saw it, there was a glitch that I had when I arrived at this location for a long time, where when somebody ran wild or decided to leave, I couldn't retame them. The game wouldn't let me retame them. This map has had so many different glitches, and that was one of them. So, is it just let it run free? No, you don't get to leave my colony. If you become a part of my colony, the only way out is death in battle. And that's it. And even then, depending on who you are, I may not let you die. So, yeah, people don't get to leave my colony voluntarily. Like, I will remove privileges so that it's more likely to happen. You're forbidden to die. Well, some people are. I don't know who's coming to work on her. Hold on. My throat's just doing a thing. Let's see if that helps. Was it her poor toes? What do you mean her poor toes? Look, all I know is, like, in my colony, if you are, like, somebody important, somebody that I want to keep alive, you're probably not going to be allowed to die. I'm looking for a doctor. My McPherson's in hospital. Dally's up here. Dally might be too far away, but considering nobody looks like they're coming for her, I don't know who Saint's Leave is. What's your skills? You're a 12. You might be able to do this. I'll choose somebody that's right here over Dally. Dally's a 14, but still. In another streamer's colony, there's a pawn named after me, and every time I watch her stream, a pawn has a new husband. Well, you sound like my silverware. As I'm a homewrecker. Yeah, no, basically, silverware, we were talking about this earlier, is about a week or so ago, I noticed that silverware in my colony was having a bitch, or her partner or whatever was having a bitch because they weren't able to sleep with their lover. And I'm like, oh, who's your lover? Let me just fix up the beds. And anyway, I went and had a look, and it was silverware. And silverware has a husband, and I'm like, for starters, in my colony, if you have a husband, you don't get to have, like, you don't get to go sleep in anybody else's beds, right? It's just, if you're married, right? And that's just how I run my colony, right? So I checked out silverware, and she has 8 lovers and a husband, and she's not sleeping with her husband. So I made her go sleep with her husband. So now her husband's happy because I feel sorry for fucking Dodsworth. Like, this fucking bastard, right? Every single time I have him in a colony, he eventually marries silverware, and she eventually, like, goes out and decides to move into somebody else's bed. And yeah, it's not cool. You know, he deserves to at least have a happy fucking relationship. But Silverware, she works at night and he's working during the day. And I think that's the biggest problem I've got, is that they keep ending up together in every colony I ever have. And then she ends up with somebody else. I'm just having a look around because she should be walking around out here at the moment. If she's not, I need to go find her. He's got to move on. So maybe tableware is available. Cutlery. Shut up. She's actually Silver War, right? But I like to just call her Silverware. But there's one. Are you the one? Yeah, you are. So she has her husband. She has Troxo, Nuffer, Cag, Diamond, Sam, which Sam's an original too. She's got Nitro. Grey is dead. Skunk's dead. I didn't even know she was with Skunk. I didn't even know she was with Grey. Yeah. I didn't notice either because I keep seeing stuff pop up and I'm like, oh, this person's in a relationship with this. They want to sleep together. And I'm like, oh, that's great, you know. And she's got beautiful trait, I'm pretty sure. So she just keeps attracting people. But yeah, can't do anything about that. But she just, every time it's somebody new, every time it's like, oh, this person's in a relationship, I'm like, cool, that's going to solve my bedding crisis. And I look over at Silverware and I'm like, because at the moment, wherever he is, Truxo, he may have gone to bed at the moment, but he should be sleeping alone wherever he is. He was in hospital having a big sook about the fact that he wasn't sleeping next to his lover. And I'm like, you're not going to get to. Like, Nitro also should be having a sook about sleeping alone. Yeah, he should be having a sook about that too. I like having a look through here and seeing if they manage to sneak off and get like some loving and stuff, because I'm like, you fucking bastards, I'm watching you, you know, like, don't you fucking sneak off and get it done, you know. So yeah, every so often I'll look around, I'll be like, I'll find one of her lovers like Diamond here or whatever, and I'll be like they all like her, they really like her and stuff, but they're all like upset about sleeping alone. They'll get over it, they'll move on eventually, you know. So for her 7 spoons, shut up. So get the polygamy beds mod, make a bed that sleeps like 8 people just for them. Well, like, I have no problems with like polygamy and stuff, just to like clarify that. I don't think I've ever actually like clarified that. That's not an issue to me. But in the game of RimWorld, I'm like pretty black and white with like their relationships, with like, oh, if you marry somebody, that's your partner and you should like stay with that person. And yeah, I don't know, I guess it's like one of the very few things maybe in RimWorld that I kind of like are particular about and stuff. But yeah, every so often I'll just look around, I'll be like, you cheating bitch, like get out of that bed. Or mostly it started because back in like 1.2, I don't know if you guys remember this, but do you remember when you had a person in a relationship, right? Like, for instance, actually, we'll just keep on Silverware and Dodsworth because they're currently in their beds, right? So a lot of the time when a person would start a new relationship, whether they were in a relationship or not, the guy would move into the girl's room in most cases, or at least that's how it worked in my games. That's how that worked automatically. And so I would have a couple of guys in my colony just moving up the ladder of like bedroom quality by shacking up with a different girl and shacking up with a different girl and like moving into their room. But as soon as they move in, if they break up with the girl, she gets kicked out of the room. So that then becomes his room. I don't know if anybody's really paid that close attention to RimWorld in this kind of mechanics, but I noticed it because one of my colonies, back when I had the colony of the collation colony, which was one of my first colonies, I had like a handful of people before we got up to the 100 or so, and I cared a lot about my 3 or 4 original colonists that I started with, and they were all females. They were Shizuka, there was Acosta, and hold on, let's get the A's out here. Where are we going? We're going in the opposite direction. Hold on. I think it was Amiya, Acosta. So Acosta, hold on, maybe back there. Yeah, Acosta, Amiya, Shizuka, and who was the third one? I thought there was another S in there. Either way, there's the 3, and then there's somebody else in there. I don't remember. But they were my originals, and I always kind of like recreated them in different games before I got the Prepare Carefully. I try to like roughly like cycle through until I got another Shizuka or another Acosta or something like that, right? So because they were my main 3 colonists, I watched them really closely. And this is how I kind of came to notice this stuff was happening, because I would make really super lavish bedrooms for these 3 colonists. And then I'd find that like, oh, suddenly they're in a relationship after they've got this really, really nice bedroom. And I would go and have a look and they'd have broken up. Mate, whatever you're doing, go do something else. And the person that had taken over their bedroom, because they had dedicated bedrooms in these early games, was whoever the fuck they had just briefly dated. And I'm like, oh my god, get the fuck out of her bedroom. I'm like, why are you sleeping in her bedroom? Where is she? And I go and find her, and she's sleeping in the dirt hovel that they were sleeping in. And I'm like, get the fuck out of there, you know? Because, like, I don't know, I had a hierarchy to some of my original colonists where, like, the main ones were good and everybody else that joined just got kind of like, you know, the classic, like, dirt bed, basically. They'll sleeping their way to the top. They used to be. I don't think they do it as much now. I think it's a little bit more even when they split up. I think it's depending on who breaks up with who now. So get out of the dirt hovel. Well, basically, like, you know how, like, at the moment, everybody's got a room, right? It's not amazing, but it has, like, some level of luxuries in here and stuff like that, right? And I try to give them, like, an excellent bed and stuff and a little bit of space, right? So imagine probably the 4 times this amount of space, like, so this size bedroom instead for one colonist. And that was their special bedroom, and it would have like the super lovely bed, and it would have like all this like statues and all sorts of shit, and that was hers. And then like literally over like here would be like a bedroll like in the mud or something like that, you know, for my new colonists, you know, like there or something. And that would be their bed out in the fucking ground somewhere. I'd be like, get out of that shit. Go back to your good bedroom. Another 2 deep infestation. This one should be near the hospital. That's fine. That's a pretty good spot for that. Actually, this time it's the prison, isn't it? Alright, well, let's get you guys here. Now, I genuinely used to play all kinds of variations, fun different ways and stuff like that for a while. Pretty much until I kind of got more into the swing of it. Like I was saying earlier, we kind of worked out how to get the no drugs policy and stuff like that, because one of my colonies did produce drugs, and so I had to stop them from eating it and using it and stuff. So thus became the don't use it, so no drugs kind of thing. Like little things like that just developed over so long. But yeah, silverware is fucking revelation of that, because I think Weeks or somebody else in my colony also has beautiful. I don't know who the fuck also has it, but as far as I am aware, I don't think she has fucking multiple partners. It's just like eye-opening to like turn around and be like, when I saw that, I literally was just like kind of flabbergasted. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because, yeah, I remembered Silverware got married. I remember seeing her marriage ceremony wasn't that long ago. But, yeah. No, I don't know. Like, I just like the fact that in RimWorld, you can literally just be whatever, make it, like, however and stuff. It's kind of fun like that. I was akinning this to, like, The Sims and stuff as well. In the sense of, like, in The Sims, it's just, like, it's so much worse. In The Sims, I just grab, like, 1 or 2, like, adult colonist people. Not colonists, but, like, Sims, right? And then in Sims 3, I wanted to see how far down the genetics went. So I just like kept making like a couple of them stay alive, right, immortal. And the rest of them would just keep reproducing until like most of the town was like interconnected family. And then see how far down it goes before the game can't tell that they're related anymore and stuff. I mean, it probably got to the point where at least like 4 generations down, I think you can do that. But I think it's actually 6 or something because they can't tell they're related. And to be fair, if they didn't look like my sim, I couldn't tell. Oh, fuck. Cold snap. That's not going to help us at the end of winter. I'm going to lose all my external crops. Sure. I'm going to keep that on a tentative save because I don't know how this is going to go to begin with. It's a little battle. I haven't grabbed everybody. I've grabbed a couple of people. But look, Sims 3 was entertaining like that because you could do that shit with like animals and stuff. And I think like most people do like the genetics traits thing where, you know, you give like an exaggerated features or something and then you like basically like breed down the lineage and shit until you've got like the trait is either extreme or normalized and stuff. It's kind of like that, but in the sense of just seeing like how far down is the resemblance and stuff like that. You know, all sorts of stuff. Sims 4 random NPC Sims are calling me like, should I have a baby? And I just always like, sure, I don't know. I was like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. And I see the family later on and they have 6 kids and I'm just like, oh. It's like they were genuinely asking your opinion by the sounds of it. I don't know. Whenever I get those messages, I don't know, just because like I don't like kids and stuff. So like my default answer is like definitely shouldn't. But normally when my Sims call, I don't tend to pick up most of the time anyway, because I'm just like, somebody's calling me. No. So they ask me freaking everything. I just don't answer the phone, except for, what is it in, I don't know if it's Sims 4 does it, where you don't have a choice, but to answer it automatically kind of answers and they play on the phone all the time. If it's that one, I get it. You don't get a choice. Oh, I should be friends with this guy. Sure, I don't care. I don't know. I guess the idea is that you're supposed to be an acquaintance with them. Can you guys move back? Kind of trying to bring this group up. That one's still alive. Rung's on it. You lot at the back here. You guys can go for that one. I'll get you guys up here. Some of them are a long shot. Ray should be able to shoot from that far back. Mel definitely can. Now, Colo, mate. Well, it goes down in the hospital, mate. Felix, Farrell. Farrell should not be at the front of this. Farrell can't fucking fight to save his life. He also has reduced medical privileges, so Peters and Cammy are in on this. What's this one? Quagmire. Fucking Quagmire. Oh no! Crook! No, I don't want you in this fight. Fuck. No, my Arctic Wolf. Vivo, right now. Rescue Crook. I don't care if that bastard's still up. Get into this battlefield. Who's that? Arlene. Get in there. Rescue Crook. Because Crook is our Viking stand-in character. Since we finally got an Arctic Wolf. Okay, let's release you. Now, everybody except for Vivo. I accidentally woke up Don to do that. I need to. No, they're okay. Alright. I'm gonna have to tend to you really quickly, and I know at least a couple of people here have got the medical I need. You don't. Corpsey won't. Dela Cruz, Ray, Farrell, none of you guys. Dawson, maybe. Franklin, yes. Franklin, mate. I need you. You're gonna need herbal medicine, probably. Actually, no. Come stand down here. Straight up. I'll get you down there. I actually don't know if any of the ones down here would be better for medicine and stuff, but this is fine. If I can get him to run down there, he'll be able to pick up the medicine. I'll be able to tend to Crook before they get too far. It would have been better if they were put on the other side, but this is okay. Alright. Now, I see Vivo's planning to 10. Vivo's got 13. You've got 13. But you're closer to the medicine, so go for it. Alright, there's also a cold snap coming, so I'm going to lose all of my outdoor crops, which is not cool because I was really genuinely hoping that I was going to have extra crops planted and in use by fucking spring. Let me just... I guess I can't turn those up. I was going to set them to barbecue, but this is fine. I can't turn that up, so I will turn this heater on. What have you got set to? Target is 5. This room will get pretty hot, probably pretty quickly. This one doesn't have power at the moment. And this whole section's got issues with power. What's going on with that? You've got power access. Do we just not have much in supply? It doesn't look like it. Okay, there... You know what? I was going to turn off the grow rooms, and then I realized I need the grow rooms. Did I leave the cremating thing on? Yes, I did. Let's turn that off. I could also turn off... What? I went flying past. Turn all these off. This isn't going to solve my power issue because it's coming from the bottom half, but I have excess power, at least like reaching through certain areas. It should be fine. Now, that's got some power back in here. You are at 43 already, and this room's at 12. We will see how this goes because I'm going to need to like set up some temperatures and stuff. I don't know if I should put Cat and Acrylic in the same room at this point because Cat's nearly ready. So I could turn this into a hospital. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Like the cold snap for winter is not going to help us produce food. Okay. It's going to kill that off. It's going to kill off a lot of the baby animals as well. And a lot of my colonists are probably going to end up in hospital. So let's at least make it a little bit warmer. I'm not actually quite sure if the extra fires help that much, but I know that in like a large area it seems to at least like make it consistent. So if I've got at least 2 in here, we should keep this pretty roasty hot. And that's all I care about at the moment, is making sure that they're warm enough in here. Corpsey, what are you doing in here? Your asthma. Okay, it's fine, mate. Okay, what's going on with Crook is 3 hours. Franklin, mate, run. McPherson got out of bed to tend to Quagmire. And somebody's tending to Panther 442. They've got 8 hours. Vivo's deciding to tend to them. Crook should live unless Franklin has to go back for another pack of medicine and can't get it past 4 hours. In which case they will definitely die. They should be fine. Why are those things still alive? Hold on. Not animals. You lot. Alright, go slaughter them. I mean, I just see it as bug meat. I actually don't know if these guys give you... Shouldn't give you any kind of leather or anything. They give you a fair bit of meat. They take a long time to grow though. I've never seen these things fucking reproduce in any capacity. And I'm pretty sure it's one of those things where they need something else to reproduce. So even if I got them, I don't think they'd do that. Look how McPherson's just out here having a snack. Quagmire must be in good hands. Yeah, Quagmire's fine. Crook's down to 2 hours. I just realized I saved over my shit, but I can always go back to the tentative save. That's okay. If Crook dies, that's not okay, because that's Viking's wolf. So, see how this goes. Just to clarify, I don't rename any of my characters or whatever, so when we got an Arctic wolf available for sale, I purchased it. So I knew that Viking wanted a timber wolf, but I couldn't have one because I needed to be able to tell the difference between a generic wolf that's going to eat my cats and ducks and shit versus a wolf that I can distinguish immediately as my own. So I said I'd get an Arctic wolf as soon as one was available, and that would be Viking's wolf character. So this is that. You do it, Franklin. Honestly, I've seen it dip back down to 2. If it sits on 3 hours and Franklin has to walk off to get more medicine, I don't know if he's going to make it. So, we'll see. Although everybody's out here planting. You know what? Hold on. I just realized that these crops, I don't know if I can select them all. Like, I don't know if he's going to survive, so this may be a bit of a waste of time. But, actually, no. We'll wait. Just wait for a moment. We'll see if Crook survives. Because I was going to just set them to don't sow the outdoor crops because they'll all die from the cold in a moment with the cold snap. But I'll wait. He's up to 5 hours. Could still die. He's still, like, in extreme pain. He's still bleeding at 223%. That's a lot of bleeding. If the main cut on his body can get patched, I know he'll live. This will be fine. What the fuck? Oh, it's the mega spider thingies up there. Fine. Now, you're up to 4 hours. Come on, Franklin, man. Also, how many of those were you carrying? Had to have been carrying a fucking few. Oh, he's carrying like 3 more. Good. Usually they don't take enough to tend to them. Blood loss is extreme. That's bad. Even at this point, okay, he's up to 9 hours. The main one's been tended. Alright. There's a pretty heavy chance that Crook's gonna live, even with that level of blood loss. It's done auto-saving. I will go and I will turn off. I'm thinking it might just be easier just to select all of my grow rooms. Say, don't sow them. And I'll go into these ones individually and be like, you can sow these because it's fun. Because it's a little bit easier to fucking select this than it is to select every single patch that's outside for me at the moment. So the problem with this is I increased my amount of meat producing animals earlier and my food production is going to go down. I'm going to lose a huge amount. My chocolate trees that are outside, I'm going to leave them to don't regrow and don't sow them because they're exposed to the elements at the moment and I can't put a roof over the chocolate trees. These things though I can, but I don't know if I can keep them warm enough. Like it's minus 12 outside. Alright, inspired, go frenzy. How's Crook doing? We are okay, no longer dying, so that's good. Blood loss is still extreme though. Might make it through. Come on, Purple, you can recruit Cat. We can replace Jung. And then we can work on recruiting me. Like, I'm still so far away. Oh, Sari's actively working on me. Anyway, I just like scroll over a little bit and Sari's in here. I'm down to like 7 odd. I think if Purple talks to Cat long enough here, there we go. I'm gonna say Purple should be successful here. You are a daytimer. Cool. So, it's been a little while since we had somebody new. Not that long though, of course, but get you set up. No drugs, schedule, you're a daytimer. Oh, hold on. Schedule. I want to get all the way back down here. Mal is having a shoot frenzy, which is actually really good because Mal is a fantastic shot. So if I need him. 2 infestations though is a little odd. I don't usually get 2. Mind you, the first one was genuinely very easy. Where did Cat go? Is this in name order? Hold on. I need you to just go back to random so Cat will be at the bottom. There we go. Confusion, Viper. I'll have to have a look at that because that might mean that you have some kind of dementia or something. We've got 7, 5, 8. That looks like that's your strongest one. Plant cutting. Okay, you want to do plant cutting stuff and that's fine. We'll leave art up. This was kind of a 2 and that's a 3 for hunting, but if you got handling, you'll have hunting, plants, and then cleaning, of course, and research is pretty high as well. So basically,